Shortly after the Civil War ended, in the year 1868, Tabasco began producing its pepper sauce. Since the company's inception, Tabasco branded pepper sauce has been exclusively manufactured on an island off the southeastern coast of Louisiana. The name of that island is Avery Island, and it's been the home for Tabasco for the last 150 years. But changes in climate, a rise in sea level, have forced Tabasco to rethink its strategy. You see, as rising sea levels come in, salt-based waters are infiltrating freshwater marshlands that have historically surrounded and protected Avery Island. Now, those salt-based waters are actually slowly eating away at the island itself. Today, Avery Island loses 30 feet of coastline per year. This inevitably puts Tabasco in a precarious situation, right? Do they move off of the island for the first time in their history to avoid geological impending doom? And if they do, how do they do that while they're trying to meet the demands that the market has for their pepper sauce? Now, we see this particular dilemma play out quite frequently in the organizations that we deal with, right? You guys aren't necessarily dealing with climate change or rising sea levels when it comes to transformation, but at the same time, seeds of change are inevitably in front of all of us. And organizations really struggle as to how they can take on transformation, again, while they have so many other things going on. Organizational employees are already overutilized. How can they become part of transformation when they've got so many things already on their plate? Organizations are trying to figure out the answer to this question. How can we drive the car, or how can we change the tires while we're currently driving the car? As Solstice's cloud CTO, I see this play out day in and day out with our enterprise customers. Large, monolithic core systems that sit inside of their infrastructure ultimately hold them back. It holds back the ability to deliver software quickly. It holds back innovation. So what do we do about that? What can we do about that? It provides an Avery Island-like dilemma for those organizations. How can we move fast when our core systems continue to slow us down? Now at Solstice, our cloud team is working tirelessly with those enterprises, day in and day out, modernizing those systems from the ground up. Using new cloud-native technologies, we're set to show organizations that building enterprise applications is easier than it's ever been before. Now today, we're going to hear from leaders across different enterprises, those who've dealt with monolithic systems, with legacy mindsets, with the siloed organizations that Jay just talked about. But what differentiates these executives is the fact that they've approached transformation head on. This afternoon, we'll hear from Pivotal's cloud evangelist, James Waters, as he sits down with Robert Miles of JP Morgan to hear how JP Morgan is going to advance its own capabilities in order to compete in the modern software era. We'll also hear from one of my favorite Chicago native technologists, HCSC's Mark Ardito. And Mark will outline the challenges, the next set of challenges that each of you will face once you transform. We'll also hear from Steve Fradkin, President of Wealth Management at Northern Trust. And Steve will talk about how he and his team helped transform a 119-year-old bank to just last week being awarded the award Most Innovative Private Wealth Bank in the World. Like Tabasco, JP Morgan, Citibank, Northern Trust, HCSC are all facing their rising sea level challenges head on, and they're all moving successfully off of their Avery Islands. I hope that the stories you hear this afternoon will give you not only inspiration, but the resources to take back to your offices as you traverse your own transformation journey.